Hello, welcome to Clockwise. My name is Providence Acing. And don't forget that Clockwise is a podcast that is sponsored by Netizens ICT. Yes, the biggest ICT hub in Akwa Ibom State. And this podcast focuses on the tech world, its uniqueness, the evolutions, the various in-demand skills that can give you a tech advantage to earn in dollar and to spend in naira. And as usual, today we have an exciting in-house guest that will be discussing on a particular topic that will interest you. But you're going to meet my guest after this break. Yes, welcome back. You're still on Clockwise, sponsored by Netizens ICT. But today we'll be discussing a very interesting episode, a very interesting project that took place in the University of Uyo like a week ago, sponsored by Netizens ICT, the Tech Advantage. And I have today as my in-house guest, not just a guest on that event, but somebody that is gradually becoming a constant guest on this program. Please help me welcome Mr. Yenekbun Ekanem. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome, sir. All right. Let's go straight to the discussion for today. You see, you are not just a guest on Clockwise. You were a guest on Tech Advantage, and you were also part of those that made that day so unique. I'd like to ask, what was your experience organizing Tech Advantage in collaboration with Netizens ICT?
Okay, Tech Advantage was a very, very successful event. I would say that because it actually,
and we have to give kudos to Netizens ICT.
Of course,
because
it actually served the purpose for which the program was designed. The main purpose of the program was to get young people at the university level to begin to consider consider more seriously careers in tech. We know that a lot of, if you look at the university system, especially in Nigeria, there is that gap that exists. People really don't. So you have industries actually want tech skills, but Nigerian graduates don't have such tech skills. And so the university is literally like churning out people that have skills of the past, not skills of today or skills of the future. So tech is actually the skill of today and a skill of tomorrow. So
now, to my greatest surprise, you understand, it was the number of students that actually came out for the event.
The turnout was immense.
It was wow.
Massive. It was massive because, when you talk about tech now, you really don't need to really emphasize so much because of the exchange rate now.
Okay.
If you have tech democratizes access to opportunities.
Okay.
Tech breaks down barriers. For example, in most other disciplines, you literally need to work on site. For example, if you're a banker, most of the times you need to go to the bank, report to the bank. If you're an artist, you need to be at the studio and all that. So it actually needs on-site, participation. But tech, you can literally can do from anywhere in the world. You can actually access opportunities anywhere in the world. Since COVID-19, we've seen it has actually, kind of initiated a paradigm shift where people no longer need to go to the office to work. They can work remotely. And tech actually is the enabler of that. So people have seen, you can see your colleague that is, okay, I'm doing a tech, I have a tech skill, I'm working for a company, maybe in the US, a company maybe in the UK and all that, but I'm still in Nigeria. So the students actually wanted to see, to hear the pathway they could take to be able to achieve.
No, one of the most interesting parts of that particular event was when you spoke about cybersecurity.
Yes.
Now you brought it so relatable that the student could actually sit down and some were even taking notes. Like, I'd like you to reiterate the things you actually said that day.
Okay, so I talked about cybersecurity because for me, cybersecurity is not just a career path. It's not something you do to be able to chart a career in cybersecurity. I think everybody needs to understand cybersecurity, at least the fundamentals of cybersecurity. And that's because almost all of us, increasingly, people are having access to the internet. Once you are connected to the internet, you are at risk of a cyber threat, of a cyber incident. So it is important for us and indeed everyone to understand the basic principles of cybersecurity. So you protect yourself. Just like we are careful about, careful about locking our doors to protect ourselves from burglars, to protect ourselves from people coming to attack us. A lot of us don't pay so much attention to protecting ourselves, our data, our information assets from being compromised, from being stolen, from being, kind of destroyed or damaged by malicious actors. So that is exactly what we try to bring, to the understanding of the layman. So, for example, we talked about a lot of people experience hack on their WhatsApp, on their on the Facebook accounts, their WhatsApp accounts, on their social media accounts. So how do you prevent this? How do you, if it happens, how do you manage this? In cybersecurity, we call that incidents response. So we talked about the what actually guides you on how to manage such security incidents is, in cybersecurity, we call it incidents response playbook. So incidents response will have to do with trying to respond to an incident to ensure that you minimize, the level of damage. You minimize the level of data theft, if in the case of data breach and all that. So in the case of you have your WhatsApp account hacked, you have your Facebook account hacked, what do you do? So we try to bring it down to the level where students can easily relate with. And I think that was something that attracted them to really consider it as an important subject matter.
Now, you see, on that day, you could see students from different disciplines.
Yes.
I met law students, agri students, insurance students. Now, how do you merge their various profession and technology? Should they abandon their course?
No.
And pursue
so you don't abandon. By the way, when I was talking about law, I told them that at the level, as a matter of fact, because it turns out that I'm also
an engineer,
an IT support specialist for the Nigerian Bar Association Women Forum.
Wow.
So I know what the forum is doing. The forum is doing a lot now to train young female lawyers, most especially, on how to harness tech tools like social media, how to harness tech tools like AI, to improve their productivity. Okay, so you realize that even for lawyers, you want to prepare your brief, you want to do research, case research. AI can help you. You want to protect in terms of data protection, which is something that is very important, even in Nigeria. There's a law behind it. So if you want to make, to kind of make that a career for yourself as a lawyer that is involved in data protection, it means you have to understand cybersecurity, because cybersecurity has to do with protecting data and information assets, from compromise, from malicious actors. So it actually goes in even in agriculture. Think about it for a second. You want to get access to tools, weather reports. You want to understand how you want to connect with markets. You are a crop farmer. You want to connect with markets to sell your product, where you can have access to markets to either sell your product or to buy inputs. Social media can allow you to do that. So if you look at technology, actually bestrides a lot of these disciplines. And the reality is that if you don't innovate technology into your career, you most likely are going to be out of. You know why Bill Gates said, if your business is not on the online, internet, then your business will soon be out of business. So it is important, not just for people that are trying to build careers, for even people in business. Think about that. To innovate technology, to innovate tech, to be able to, because it actually improves the efficiency. It makes your process more cost effective. You can see what ChatGPT is doing now. If you're a lawyer, for example, and you try to do a research, a research that could take you weeks can literally be done in days. If not hours, with ChatGPT and other language models and AI tools. So it is important for people across disciplines to think about how to harness technology.
If you were a student on that day,
work.
Let's assume you were a student on that day.
Yes.
You were not a guest speaker. Let's assume you were seated there. How will you take advantage of tech advantage?
Okay, so for me, take advantage, just like I encourage the students, will be an opportunity for me to think about, number one, how to leverage tech to improve my, my productivity and give me a competitive advantage over the other people. For example, if let's say I'm a medical doctor, this other guy, let's say you are also a medical doctor. All of us have learned the essentials of medicine, Abby. Okay, good. Now, what differentiates, me from you is what I have to add to it. And if I have a tech skill, that means I can interact with digital tools, digital devices. And if a hospital is looking to hire somebody, today, even medical science is all about tech. We've seen a lot of phenomenal things that is being done with tech in medical science and on all that. So a hospital or a health facility will most likely want to employ me more than you that doesn't have a tech skill. So number one, it will be to improve my skill, my market value. In my discipline. Number one. Number two, nowadays it's important for people to have side hustle. I don't advise anybody to have just a single line of income. So it takes skills could actually allow you to also have a side hustle.
Now, do you actually believe that somebody can be a student and also work remotely with a tech skill?
As a matter of fact, that is even what is very in vogue now. You can be a student and you work remotely. Because number one, it's not conflict. It will not, because if you think about it, because of remote work, the time you would spend commuting, the time you spend doing a lot of things to get yourself to your workplace is actually cut out. So you could literally work in a staggered way. You can work in a staggered way. So you could work let's say 2 hours, go for lectures, then do another 1 hour, and then so everything comes into 6 hours in a day. That is what tech can.
Can you tell us the various skills students can actually learn and also use to work remotely? Like, what kind of simple skills?
So, for example, number one, I talked about cybersecurity.
Can somebody be a cybersecurity and be a student?
You can be a cybersecurity expert and be a student. For example, if to make money is to solve problems. A lot of people have issues with their accounts being hacked, their Facebook accounts being. I'm taking it from a very basic level. Their accounts being hacked. If you can provide that service, if people know that you can be relied upon, not just to retrieve account, but to prevent. I always like prevention. You can actually help people to implement things like multi-factor authentication to ensure that they don't have to they don't suffer that gruesome experience in the first place. It's something that you can do and make some decent income. Then you can also help people to recover their account after they have been hacked, and also to institute preventative measures to ensure it doesn't happen again. So that is something that you can do in the field of cybersecurity. There are a lot of other things. If you are working for a company, for example, if you are a security analyst, you could be in charge of monitoring logs, security logs. And now that we have SIM tools that allows us to, you don't literally need to monitor all the thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of security logs that come every single time. But you could visualize it on the dashboard, so it allows you to spend less effort to be able to monitor. So if you commit, like, let's say 4 or 5 hours a day as a student, you can actually do the job. So it's more flexible. That's number one. You can be a technical support specialist. Yes, you can actually provide technical support for businesses, for organizations. And
you work remotely.
I
earn in dollar and you spend in naira.
Yeah, that's the point. So I have a number of friends that are, and they are making very, very decent income working remotely as technical support specialists. You can also work as, other customer-facing roles. You can even work as a developer, as a student. During the Tech Advantage, I saw people, some guys, that are working in Web3. They are Web3 developers. I think you had one of them.
That's Declan Work.
Yeah, Declan Works. Okay. A number of them also are working in Web3. They are building very phenomenal projects. But they are still students and they're performing well as students. So you could be a founder, as a matter of a tech founder, even as a student. It allows you to have an early start in tech. A lot of us, for me, for example, I did not have an early start in tech because I was still of this view that I did electrical engineering. So by the time I come out,
with the first class,
by the time I come out, I will be people will be literally inviting me to to come around to work. So it doesn't work that way. If I had a head start, starting from my university days to learn tech, maybe coding and all that, I would have had that tech advantage like you talk about. Okay. So it is something that students, attendees of that event should think about how to start early to carve a niche for themselves in tech.
Okay.
Both either as a career path or as a side hustle.
Okay.
So that's for me.
Right, now we are going to hold it here and we'll continue with the conversation when we are back from this break. Thank you very much.
At Netisense, we have built our state-of-the-art, serene and conducive workspace. It is fully equipped with all the facilities to have a comfortable and an amazing work time at our hub. If you need a place to work, handle your business meetings, or take that exams, our workspace offers 24/7 power supply, unlimited access to internet, overnight hours, private space, and business services. Welcome to our versatile conference hall, a premier space that accommodates gatherings of 50 to 70 persons. Nestled within our facility, this conference hall is designed to cater to a diverse range of events, making it an ideal choice for both professional and social occasions. With its spacious layout and comfortable seating, our conference hall provides an optimal setting for seminars, workshops, trainings, and conferences.
Welcome back. I'm still with my guest, Yenekbune Kandem, the cybersecurity expert. We are still on Tech Advantage.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know, what were the challenges you faced during organizing such events?
Okay, of course, it's a challenge where you have to convince people to, especially the tech stakeholders you're working with, to see the vision. Anything that people don't get gratification immediately, instantly.
They will not understand.
They will not. So I personally understood the importance of tech, of having students expose themselves early to tech. So it's more of something that I was very passionate about. Yes. So and it worked out very well. It worked out very well. So the challenge would be, apart from that, every other thing was good because we had the support of the student community.
They came out, yeah.
They came out, the students community, even the leadership of the student union, the student union was very, very strongly in support of what we did. Because again, they themselves know about it. They know about the opportunities that exist in tech. Nobody needs to be told about the opportunities that exist in tech. If you think about what you stand to gain by getting your students, your colleagues, your fellow students to expose themselves to tech, they will always remain indebted to you for that opportunity. So we had a massive support from them. We also had massive support from people, other stakeholders, even people from the government and all that.
If you were still a student, let's assume.
Yes.
Let's rewind you back to many years ago. You were still a student, engineering student specifically. Yes. What tech skill will you learn?
If I were still an engineering student,
yes.
Well, I would learn.
It
would be either two things.
Which one?
It would be either software engineering or cybersecurity.
Why?
Because apart from the fact that these are the most in-demand tech skills now, literally the most in-demand tech skills.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, I am someone that likes to create. I'm creative. I like to build products.
Okay.
So, for example, if you look at software engineering, allows you to be able to build digital products that people could use. Think about fintech apps that you use. Things that, for example, you use your app to make payments and all that. That's a product of software engineering.
Okay.
Think about even some of the biggest things you can think about. I think you use your phone. Those apps built on those apps on your phone. They're actually a software engineering products. So if you are creative, if you want to push the boundaries, if you want to be innovative, if you want to be transformative in your thought, in the way you approach things, then you want to go into software engineering. Then cybersecurity, of course, because it goes beyond just earning a living. It goes beyond just making a career, but protecting yourself and protecting people around you. If you are a cybersecurity a cybersecurity professional, you have this security mindset, which is one of the things you cultivate as a cybersecurity professional. Okay. You have a security mindset, so that, for example, before now, you receive emails, you just open them and then you click on any link at all. No, you are not going to do that. Even if you see maybe a colleague at work trying to do it, you say, no, you don't do that. You have to be very careful that especially if it has an attachment, be careful that the attachment doesn't have it's not from a source that you are not comfortable with. Okay. Because that could be a form of phishing attack. It doesn't contain a link to a site that you don't know of, which could be kind of a malicious, a kind of a social engineering attack trying to redirect you to an infected website or something. It's not a link that has ransomware. Sorry, a file that has ransomware, which once you activate it or click on it, it could actually introduce ransomware onto your system. So you literally are protecting yourself. You're protecting others from the very, very harrowing experience, because if you are under cybersecurity attack, it's always a harrowing experience. Think about how close you are to your device, your phone, your PC, and all that, and then something happens. Let's say you suffer a ransomware attack and everything is encrypted.
Even the hacking of your Facebook page can destabilize you.
It can destabilize you. And again, someone hacks your Facebook page and begins to send messages to unsuspecting colleagues or friends or followers. Your followers are requesting for money. That not only, it also damages your reputation, because people will like, this guy is begging me for money and all those kind of things. Except they know that it's actually an attack, So it actually could, can dampen your reputation. Okay. So, cybersecurity is more of what I could call a social cause. Okay. A social cause to make people to be secure online. Okay. That is the job you literally commit yourself to do for the rest of your life. So it's a noble cause for me.
Okay. Now we've seen Tech Advantage 1.0 University of Uyo. Are there plans to take it to other campuses, or just for University of Uyo?
No. There are plans to take it to other universities. We're looking at we also have Akwa Ibom State University, yes. Okay. We are looking also at Polytechnic, because we want to democratize this knowledge, this information. Beautiful. We want to encourage, like I said, we're targeting young people, especially at the university level. We are also looking at even going as far as the secondary schools.
Wow.
Yes, because we want to ensure that they have access to, they have a good head start. They can start early, because look, when you start early, you can achieve so much. If we could achieve what we've achieved when we started literally late, imagine what students could do if they start early. So we're looking at taking it to Akwa Ibom State University. We're also looking at taking it even to secondary schools, to introduce this to secondary schools at the very formative stage of their lives. They should be introduced to tech, especially software engineering. They could start even by learning programming languages. They can learn programming languages, HTML, Python, JavaScript, CSS, and all of that. We also think about even having them, because the next stage, stage of this development is actually Web3. And we want to see how we can encourage our young people at that level to begin to think about building on Web3. I am very passionate about Web3. It's something that I have so much interest in. And I'm thinking of how we can get young people at that level to be interested in Web3. Okay. So we're looking at taking it to secondary schools. We're looking at, having them to be part of this, understand at that level. Yeah, they might not be able to build projects at that level, but again, they could actually do something.
Okay.
Whether it's robotics, whether it's cryptographic technology, whether it's AI, whether it's software engineering, we want them to have these skills ahead of time so they have a good head start.
All right. Now, apart from the events, is there a system whereby students can actually come to learn skills? It's just about the event and the thing is over?
No. Okay. So it's actually a pipeline. So after the event, the event is to introduce tech to students.
Okay.
And then after that, we have students enroll for program. We give scholarships.
There was a scholarship.
Yeah, you saw. Okay,
10
so
students.
we give scholarships for some of the people that can talk, because like you saw, we invited some of the students to come and talk to us. How would tech
the opportunity,
skill,
enhance
your career? Yes. So if you're able to convince us, then we give you a scholarship. Otherwise, we still encourage you to come in and study to learn the tech skill. And then beyond that, you also we also have hubs, because we're trying to see how we can bring these people together. People lose interest when they are not encouraged from time to time to be able to take a decision, to take an action. So we have that a hub where we encourage people, where we expose these students to IT skills. We encourage them. We have people that manage the hub, so that these students will continue to, every single time they come around, they are exposed to different IT skills and what it could do for them. The aim is to encourage them to sharpen themselves in IT skills and think about making a career. And by the way, the hub is also for people that don't want to make IT as a career. They just want to understand the basics that they need to incorporate or to leverage.
Learn non-technical skills.
The non-technical skills, or what they just need to leverage to be able to promote or enhance their career, their chosen career. So that is what the hub is. Then it's also for people that really want to develop the hardcore developers and all that. So we have that arrangement so that we encourage these people to, because we see the future tech expert. You see some of the big tech, what is happening today. The Microsoft, the Amazon, these people believed in tech. And if you think about it, and today we see these are the biggest people. The largest company in the world is Apple. Then the second largest is Nvidia. Apple is a tech company. Nvidia, think about it, is an AI company, chip manufacturer. So you have these companies. These companies were actually a product of people being keen, about tech. So we are trying to see how we can build the Apples of Africa. We can build the Nvidia of Africa. We can build competitiveness. In Africa, in African countries, in society, African societies, we can build that tech competitiveness so that we don't just sit down and consume tech, but we can also build and contribute to tech development.
For all you've said now, it's as if Tech Advantage will be domiciled on campuses.
Well, Tech Advantage will domicile on secondary school, universities and secondary
schools. For students, mostly for students.
Mostly for students.
Okay.
It's actually a deliberate attempt to go after the students. We're trying to ensure that we get them
to the students.
Get them to identify with tech. To pick up some tech skills, get a career out of tech, or enhance their chosen career with tech. That is the deliberate. It's a deliberate plan that we have with Tech Advantage, and that is why for us it is something that we believe that over time it will lead to a tech revolution. It starts like this.
Yes.
When people realize what their potential, what they can actually achieve with tech, it has a domino effect, because one person, you pick one member of the family, it encourages the siblings to fall in love with tech. Then the siblings also, so it spreads out that way. So before you know what, everybody is looking at tech. Everybody is also looking at, even people that are in other disciplines are more productive because they're incorporating tech into their daily,
you see, I saw on that day, it was Tech Advantage 1.0.
Yes.
And after it has gone around all the schools, are we expecting a Tech Advantage 2.0?
Okay, so Tech Advantage 1.0 is the first season.
Okay.
So the next season will be Tech Advantage 2.0.
Okay.
But what we are also going to do is we are trying to not just have a 2.0, but we are trying to ensure that every other edition of Tech Advantage is remarkably
different,
different from what we had before in terms of remarkable improvement.
Yes.
So that is exactly what we want to do, and carry the story along, so that we will be able to tell ourselves, like, look, when we started, this was what we had, and at this point, this is what we've been able to achieve. Because for us, this is something that we want to have. The success for us in this is when we have young people that are when we are able to export tech talents.
Okay.
When we are able to export tech talents to, you look at India, if you go on Fiverr, if Indians leave Fiverr will collapse. I'm telling you the truth, because majority, by a very long shot, the majority of freelancers on Fiverr are Indians, Chinese, Indonesian. These guys, because these guys have positioned themselves to take all of these, take advantage of the remote work that exists. So how do we as Africans also position ourselves? Is by building those skills, is by building IT skills, is by incorporating IT skills into anything we are doing.
Okay.
Yes, because again, it will allow you to be more competitive. And one of the challenges that Africa has is that we are not competitive. If I produce something, if it takes me, like, let's say $10,000 to produce an app, because I'm working very inefficiently, and someone in Indonesia says he can do the same app or something even better for $4,000. Guess who the customer will patronize? Is the Indian guy. So we're trying to see how we can improve our productivity, our efficiency, our cost effectiveness, so that we can compete with the guys outside there. We can compete. We will not just consume, because when you consume, your value is depreciating. But when you are producing, your value is appreciating.
Okay.
And by in the long run, we do what? We improve the value of even our local currency.
Now, from all what you said, I'll not be wrong to call you an ambassador of Tech Advantage.
Well, you could say that, but all of us are ambassador of Tech Advantage.
Okay.
Because
Now, as an ambassador of Tech Advantage, please, your final words to our viewers.
Okay. For me, I want to say to everybody, that tech is something you can't do without in this age.
Yes.
You just have to go for tech.
Yes.
You have to, in fact, in anything you do, you must ask yourself, how can I incorporate tech into this? But also realize that in doing that, the moment you decide to go online or incorporate that kind of technology into your business, you have just kind of signed up to be vulnerable to security incident, online security threats. So while you want to incorporate tech into your business, into your daily routine, you also want to protect yourself while at it, so you can get the advantages of incorporating tech without suffering the consequences of having tech in your business.
Thank you very much. On that note, we draw the curtains for today's episode. And before we go, please do not forget that the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who did not go to school or those who will not go to school, but they are those who have refused to evolve as their environment is evolving. My name is Providence Essien. See you again.